Hey guys, long time no see. I haven't done a video like this in a long time. That is to say, I've only done it like once, and that's because I haven't really found an appropriate time to do it again. But this I thought was pretty fitting. So here I am, the voiceover speed paint thingy. So as you can see by the title as well, I am redesigning Twilight because, well, I've done this a couple times in the past, back in 2019 and then last year, where I kind of drew the characters as humanoid characters based on how they would look in one of my worlds, universes that has nothing to do with MLP. But I started watching the show again, I started watching it last year, but then it was really on and off, and then recently-ish I started doing it less on and off, so now my head is infected with horses. It made me want to draw some of the characters. I don't know how many of them I will draw, I'm just kind of drawing them as I feel like it, but here's Twilight. So this design is sort of based on the one I did last year, because I really liked that one. So there is a lot of design elements that I carried over there. It's just sort of I ponyified her again. And I've also, since the one I did in 2019, I've also turned her back into a unicorn and an alicorn. Because the one in 2019, I made her an earth pony in that one because it was sort of based on those G5 concept art leak things where Twilight was made into an earth pony. And I liked the idea because I thought it kind of made her more relatable and grounded her. And yeah, I liked it. But then I remembered that Starlight exists and her backstory kind of blows, to be honest. And I haven't gotten up to that part in the show yet, but I do remember it. And I just thought that she would be a way better candidate for an earth pony because it would explain her backstory a little bit more, I guess. So then I thought, okay, well, we'll just make Twilight a unicorn again, so cool. So in terms of her physical design, again, based on the one from last year, so she's got these antenna things because in my universe thing, they're called equines in my universe. The unicorn variant have antenna things. I don't know what they are. I just like them, so I decided to carry it over. Same with the shape of the ears, which is they're supposed to be feathery ears, I guess. I guess in my headcanon, I kind of have this idea, which is that everything is kind of affected by either Celestia's magic, Luna's magic, or I guess Discord's magic as well. Which Discords are probably really rare. So they each have kind of affinities to them. So obviously my idea is Twilight is closer to Luna, but then has a bit of Celestia as well, I guess, which I think that works for her. Then also the claw on her wing, that's kind of inspired by I don't know. I gave this version of Twilight very Luna vibes. That's the thing. I really like that sort of vibe for her. So you've got the curved backwards horn and the claw on her wing, the sparkles, which actually, what am I saying? I just really like adding sparkles designs now because I've been looking at a lot of random characters, MLP characters on Toy House and stuff, and I've noticed a lot of people add sparkles, and I just think it's great. I think sparkles make everything better. It just looks really nice. Also a lot of her, the feathers on her, or for whatever, have the same shape as her hair. So, and then same with her general body shape is very boxy. I just sort of imagine Twilight as kind of a, not super lanky, kind of tall, sort of, but and kind of awkward, tall in an awkward way. That's kind of how I imagine her. But again, not super tall, just kind of a little bit taller than average. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Also in my headcanon, cutie marks are out. I don't mind the idea of them. They're cute, I guess, and they make sense. I know why they exist, because, each character has a symbol, I guess, but I don't like them because I don't like designing them. They suck. I just don't like designing them, especially the characters that aren't canon. Sometimes when I draw my characters as horses, I just dude, go away. I don't want to have to design a cutie mark. I don't know what, I don't know, man. I don't know. Okay, I don't like designing them very much. They're kind of annoying. So I thought And also because like they're not like kind of my vibe. Like if I were to actually do a full headcanon of this show, I would probably get rid of them. So I've decided to instead replace them, kind of, not really replace, but like, they like just have it as like a vague marking where they would be. So they're not really defined anything, it's just the, I don't know, just for this redesign sort of thing. It's like the universe doesn't have cutie marks, but some I guess the shapes are still there, like it's just part of the design. So that's why she has like, Twilight has the little sparkle on her butt, and I also put it on her forehead. I've seen that on a lot of redesigns of Twilight, to be honest, and I really like it. So yeah. As for the colours and stuff, again, darker colour because Luna, but also I just think it kind of suits her. I added the yellow in her design to sort of break up all the purple because it was like a bit much, and also to add that like sort of Celestia bit because she's like a little bit in between but more closer to Luna. I also her wings, like the dorsal side of her wings and the tail feathers, like I didn't do a gradient for the different colours to match her hair, so it was all like consistent. So that, also, yes, cloven hooves and the unicorn tail and the feathers on the tail, like the fan, because, I don't know, they're alicorns, so they have everything. Oh yeah, and also, I guess for my headcanon, I never really liked the idea that Twilight, like, takes over the Equestria, and that Luna and Celestia back down. I don't know. I don't know. I always imagined Luna and Celestia as, like, literal, like, gods, I guess, like actual gods, and they're not necessarily like ponies. But there's also like other ideas floating around, like I guess you could make them actual ponies and they would be, I don't know, whatever. I'm kind of like, I'm not really into the headcanon stuff anymore. I used to have like a whole AU for this world called, what was it called? Aetherius or something. Back in like 2020 and 2019 and all that. And, you know, I used to get into it more then, but even back then, like, it was kind of merging into its entire, like, own thing. I mean, that's where my character, Screegle, came from. He was, like, a desert dragon, that I made for the whole thing, and, I just like playing around with it because I like the whole fantasy thing, but then eventually I made another universe, which is called Arcadia. And it wasn't, like, supposed to replace it, it was just another universe, but it kind of just scratches my need for fantasy, like that itch, and like elemental stuff and magic, so now I have that, and that's where all that goes. And I'm pretty, like, sometimes I feel kind of tempted to put like characters inspired by MLP in there, like especially like Rainbow Dash and stuff. I'm sorry, I really like Rainbow Dash. But yeah, so that's kind of where I put my energy for fantasy stuff. I've never really been someone to get into fandoms, to be honest. Like, you probably noticed that with like How to Train Your Dragon as well. Like I did a whole video essay on it, but like as far as headcanons go and like drawing fan art, like it's not something I really do. MLP is the only thing that kind of got furthest, and I think that's just because I like drawing horses like a lot, because they're pretty relaxing to draw, and because it's like kind of really open-ended, whereas like with How to Train Your Dragon, like the designs aren't like, I don't feel like I can do a lot with them in a way. Like you can, but it's not something that I'd really get into in that way. I've always been one that does pretty much like mostly original content, so it makes sense that I eventually, like, MLP was the only one that's kind of got the closest, to be honest, so, because I think it's so open-ended. And the style of this drawing as well is kind of inspired by the style in this show, with like the coloured lines and stuff, and the way the back legs are drawn. I just really like the way they're drawn. But I didn't want to do like actually the way the show looks, because it is like really bland. Like, you know, every character pretty much has the same model and it's kind of boring. And I really like drawing the way like horse legs, like the anatomy, I really like them. So I didn't want to get rid of that either. So I just kind of mixed it a little bit. So yeah, like thicker lines, colored line art. I hate coloring lines. Oh my god. Coloring lines on ponies is fine. Okay, because there's not much to them. Okay, as soon as I have to color lines on like humanoid characters or like even dragons sometimes, like kill me. Oh my god, there's just, unless I find like a better way to do it, it's such a pain in the ass. Like Like, I wanted to draw some of my characters, like, in this sort of style, like, especially, like, the dragons and stuff, because I thought it looked neat, and it was just a pain. It like, oh yeah, I can do this in an hour or two. No, it's gonna take way longer, it's gonna be like any other drawing. Whereas these horses take not very long to draw at all, like, very quick. Especially because you don't have to draw, like, any hands or anything. Like, I'm pretty quick with drawing hands anyway, but I feel like there's nothing going on. They're just horses with stick legs. They're very simple. So, you know, overall I'm pretty happy with this design. I actually really like it. I also changed her expression last minute at the end because, like, I don't know, she just looked kind of dull with just the neutral face, so I was like, yeah, I'll just make her smile a little bit. I made her eyebrows kind of like thick-ish as well because I think that suits her. But yeah, I've rambled a lot now. My throat is dry as hell, so I'm just gonna leave you guys with that. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you like this redesign, and we'll see if I make some more. So catch ya laters.